Welcome to the Dr. Remina Panjwani Show, where we're optimizing wellness together. I am your host, Dr. Remina. Welcome back to another episode. Today I have my friends, Dr. Doug and Natalie Gardner. Amazing people. We're going to have such a wonderful discussion today. So thank you for tuning in. And thank you for taking time to be on my show. How are y'all doing?
For happiness.
Yeah. Well, we'll jump right in. Y'all have accomplished so much. So, of course, you have this amazing Dr. Douglas Balms brand. But, Dr. Doug, you are a neurologist. So it's interesting. I want to see how you utilize both aspects of your career and your entrepreneurship. Well, let's start diving in with, first of all, y'all's journey, how you got here, and then we could start with your neurological aspects.
Want to start?
Well, I guess Natalie is business minded. I don't know where you went to medical school, but if you know this, just they don't teach you what an LLC.
They don't.
Yeah, you have to learn as you go. So I was making. I've been a neurologist for about 15 plus years, and I was doing adventure races, and I wanted a product for blisters and glass, poison ivy, and things like that. So I was making it for myself. And then on that Natalie, we were friends for a long time, and she said, well, let's do a race together. So we did an adventure race, and she used her product. She loved it, so she developed the product. I just making cookies. Natalie's been on connection to business. And that's really true. I mean, I'm a neurologist. I'm not entrepreneurial by nature. It's fun when you finally pick it up. That she's the brains in the company. I just make it and formulate it.
So he does what I call crazy races. I'm not doing 100 miles in the mountains, but good crazy, but crazy racing. And he started making stuff for himself because he just wanted one thing that prevented blisters, prevented chafing, healed skin if it did, instead of having all the different products in the bag of that. So he starts compounding stuff and he's so talented because, in his neurology career, he's compounding those patients all the time. Just starts making this stuff with these organic ingredients. And before you know it, they become a phenomenon in my country. Before you know it, everywhere he went, people were like, did you bring that stuff? Did you bring the miracle stuff? And so I remember just sitting across the table from him one day and like, this is pretty awesome. You need to sell this stuff. And he looks at me. He's like, I'm a neurologist and I don't.
Number one, what am I going to say to you? How much would I say? You don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it started. He looked back at me and he's just like, I can do all the R&D and make it, but if you want to do the rest. So that's really where we started. Then we had, a dermatologist test it, and we were finding he's doing such great things for everything from itchy dry skin to eczema. And just people who are on medications for years were really thinking that much for them. And
I'm surprised to this day he benefits from this product. This is just something our grandparents used because they didn't have all that. They had more of a apothecary approach to life, or many approach, and they lived longer than he probably did. So that's all I was doing was taking. In some ways, family approaches that's usual. And the culture, the environment is ready for that approach now. Everything has to be high percentage prescription and expensive. So that's kind of our reach. That's where it surprises me that when a pediatrician is very science-based, says, I've been using topical steroids on having children for years, and she has not used it since. And to me, that gets me upset out because that's so meaningful to me. If I can steroids out, topical steroids. So neurologist by nature, you're going to ask later on, that's the instant like a neurologist to me is, I like to solve the Rubik's Cube. I just don't understand it fluid and make it look better, I like to solve the problem. So my major approach with Dr. Barrett and neurology in general is, what's our goal? What's the problem? Let's solve the problem next.
Yeah, and we'll definitely dive deep on the product, but what you mentioned is what's basically the root cause. It's like a functional medicine approach to root cause where in generally, of course, like any neurological disorder, a lot of them can be quite debilitating. And a lot of these patients have such a rough life to deal with. But a lot of times, too, it's mostly just medications. Just conventionally, it's medications just to cover it up. But you look at it almost holistically, I would say, right? So, what what are some common neurological disorders that you see that you add in your approach? For instance, like you have, there's going to be like ALS, there's going to be MS, and et cetera, a whole plethora of stroke patients. But what do you do differently?
Big time. So this conversation's longer than in class on diet and nutrition, but I had in medical school. I am big on diet.
Isn't that amazing? Like we don't learn all this in medical school.
I guess normally you can say there's no time. I'm too busy on some obscurities and I never see. It's on the boards and you never see it. And really day-to-day nutrition, I love it when my my patients come back and lecture me on diet or like Strobel, you said this, and that's true, but it's a little bit inflammatory, and I wanted something a little bit less inflammatory in my diet. Because a lot of my conditions are inflammatory neurodegenerative conditions. And I give them references, both books. They either love me or they hate. I give so much time for that. I said, Dr. Strobel gives it a moment. Like, he doesn't just treat me shitty, he gives me kind of a lifestyle, left foot, right foot, only foot forward, and the ones who self-invest are impressively better when their age and disease matched. And to say that and exercise, I have maybe a handful of colleagues across the city and county who take the same approach and they're so up-minded for all this personality.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you mention anti-inflammatory foods, of course, there's so much, and there's labels where they'll say it's like an anti-inflammatory diet or a diet or whatnot, but I guess let's break that down further. When you have your patients read the homework, what have you found the types of food that sets up patients for success?
So I'm very happy with just saying it real simple. Whole food, plant-based. So whole food, plant-based, and do I eat meat? Absolutely. But you don't need a 32-ounce T-bone. Because one, you won't get nutrition beyond a certain point. And two, those calories are going to go second. So I tell people, eat the size of a deck of cards, whole food, plant-based. Yes, I can get them in supplements, but God did not design you to absorb it fully as well as to absorb, but you can take B12. They take B12 in the presence of food. There are foods that are rich in B12. There are foods that are, you can bring vegetables and folic acid. Before we got on the video, Natalie and I are talking about vegetables, berries, that are high in vitamin C and vitamin A. So things that are really good for you that are not harmful for you, and you're going to keep eating them, right? You can't self-medicate. You know, it's great about eating healthy. There's no like that.
When you work with the patients that you have the neurological conditions and you start implementing all these lifestyle changes, right, from all the avenues, have you noticed if there's a change in their medication dosages or any functional status?
There's a really good study. I think it's an NIH study years ago done in the South, which is known for their fried foods and things like that, that people who eat a healthier diet they live longer on fewer medications, but kind of the same disease state, and whatever that is. So they do better. And I'm a big fan of exercise too. I don't beat just one or the other. I say approach both. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your prescription for the exercise regimen that you tend to suggest?
Demographic. I live in kind of a C. I work in a kind of an underserved C part of the city. Mm-hmm. A lot of state payers, and life did not prepare them for anything beyond high school. Like they didn't have any nutritional training. Mm-hmm. So listen, about the Strobel, I never, or I can't. And it was one of our best moments when my entire office staff signed up to do a sparking with us, because no one ever told these young ladies they could do this. Maybe you want it, right? You can do this. And the sense of accomplishment of them, we would meet pre-training, jump right adventures and do fun stuff. And it was just bondage. So what I do is, in answer to your question, I tell them, number one, posture is touches. Whether you're typing, standing, walking, make your neck around, get shoulders down, right? Get the chin slightly up. And posture is exercise. And you can tell a difference in their demeanor and their autonomic nervous system just by giving them better posture. Their headaches go up. We were talking about this, but a lot of people have said that they don't play it. Their headaches go up. The other thing I have them do is I have them start at 1 minute. I don't care if it's 1 minute of doing those squats, if you know what those are, or 1 minute of sitting and standing in a chair, or just 1 minute of standing on one foot while they watch that. You can do one, you develop speed. You can do 3, you develop 5. You get to 5, you develop 10. And once they get to the end result, I'm big on anti-inflammatory, anti-excitatory diets. So everything to be oxidative, everything to be no lactic acidosis, nothing inflammatory. So if they can do exercise with a little difficulty, they're right there at the perfect O2 saturation respiratory. Whereas if they're gasping, they need to go back. And they can sing Ave Maria, but then we need to pick it up. And I have to advocate for 20 to 30 minutes based on body mass to get everything tired. You really only every other way. If they can do, if they want to do a stretch and flex on the ultimate day is great. The hard part is sales. The hard part is getting you to believe that they can do it. And that there's a long-term benefit.
So do you have a success story that just sticks with you that you can share?
Well, I think the biggest one is the office staff, because those are people I see every day. They're very much a paradigm for my very successful patients. But when they would go and smoke at lunch, they would eat the high-calorie, high-stage foods that we've had for lunches, that we prepared those. And then they would go and walk during lunch instead of things that are bad for them. They all became happier. They would come in early and get the exercise done. They would exercise at lunch. And a lot of them, I think their husbands, there's a little bit of a ripple effect that their family members said, if you can do it, I'm going to do it. And those are just so things that are really hard in my faith.
Yeah, definitely is. It's such everything, as you mentioned, is success story, especially in the field of neurology, where not all the diagnoses give you the best quality of life. So amazing work you're doing. And, transitioning into how you, for yourself, wanted to make the Dr. Douglas Bombs products. It's amazing how it turned into something that can be used for multi-purposes, right? And even different age ranges. So let's talk about the ingredients. Let's talk about the ingredients and the benefits of that.
It's very basic. There are 7 very simple ingredients. It's all food grade. People like non-GMO and things like that. It has all types of all those block. But you can actually eat it. It doesn't taste very good. Yeah, it's just beeswax, olive oil, a dash of shea butter, peppermint oil, lavender oil, coconut oil, and then one of the products has Arnica Montana, which just makes it Motan. None of them has magnesium in it. And so none has lemongrass in it. He tried to stay true to that. And for the better part, I think we've done some products under contract that we not. Well, magnesium is not organic, it's a mineral anyway.
So you can call it an organic product, but it's really just all natural is our foundation. And this is all, before AI search engines and stuff, we look for some evidence-based who got better and who stayed the same. Hopefully no one got worse in terms of our ingredients. And Natalie was the test case, and she tells a great story about it, but everything was run through Natalie to her kids, to her family, to her sister who's a derm, to people in the office. I mean, my office and my patients were my guinea pigs. And
We just kept making it. He would make a little tiny adjustment here and there until everyone loved it.
So which one was the first one? Because the ingredients, they seem simple, but that's important too, right? Because it goes back to where the ancient practices and the cultural practices, even going back to the anti-inflammatory products, right? Like that's what they use, and going back to that now. I mean, if you look at a lot of these cultures, they use what is, as you mentioned, you could eat it, but it's also like plant. It's good, clean products that you can use with multi-use purposes. So I would say, I would like to know which one was your first one you used, and then how did that inspire the additional lines you'll have?
Well, I think it was the coconut oil and the beeswax. So very much the base. And I forget what oil I used for first, but it's not hemp oil. But tree nuts are preferable to like non-nuts, like peanuts, they won't have a nut. And so this is Natalie's got the original Miracle Balm.
Yes.
We didn't name it that. It was just balm. But all my friends would say, "There's your Miracle Balm."
Well, and we couldn't figure out, I mean, if you think about it, to your point, there's so many things you can use it for, right? As far from anything from itchy, dry skin to eczema. I have severely dry skin. I use this, and this is the base of everything. So it's the 7 organic ingredients. And I use it neck down every single day. It is the only thing that has ever lasted me shower to shower without being greasy and you're going to feel the oils as it goes on. I know you've tried it, but you can feel the oils, but it shouldn't be greasy. I did not want, when we were developing it, I didn't want footprints on my floors. I used to put Aquaphor all over my babies.
Oh, you were.
I didn't want to slide out of my shoes either, but
That's a fair point.
and not that Aquaphor is bad. It's what we had at the time. But we would stain my sheets. It would stain like everything. And it never really absorbed. Well, this absorbs completely. And then the beeswax holds that moisture in and keeps the outside irritants out. So this is the only thing that lasts me shower to shower ever. And then each of our disciplines, you want to grab that? We've added 1 or 2 added ingredients. So big topic right now, magnesium, right?
Yes.
I mean, it helps us with so many different functions of our body. But topically, so this is the magnesium bone. It's the same base, but has added mag chloride. Mag chloride is the best transdermally. And I mean, the results people are getting from everything, he first created it for his patients. So neuropathy, migraine, restless leg. But it's also, if you look at magnesium, it's been used for years to prevent sex hacks, to have the skin elasticity. So topically, this is awesome. I still take a magnesium at night, but the mag chloride in this, and for me, it has the max magnesium to have in it without it being like burning or gritty, because it is a salt, and it's just helped so many people. It's helped so many people with things like that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just a question on that too. So when you prescribed it in your office, was it also topical?
So I would tell them to just get on whatever shopping online source choice.
Yeah.
You can look at ancient dinners, and those will burn. They will.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're using oil, but it's not an oil. It's a very viscous. So people, it's like, I can't take it on. It just burns out. Can you save their eggs?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So I think you just had a conversation on this. So Natalie's dad is a chemist. And he said, well, you can add it to your original. It's going to undergo what's called saponification. So it made it a little bit soapy, right? Saponification. So what we did was tweak the coconut oil and the beeswax to counterbalance that. So there's just a touch of residue with this to get that maximum magnesium level that Natalie's talking about. But it's that was the biggest difference for us. And I think it's the coconut oil that really helps with the magnesium penetration, is to get transdermal. And there are books written about transdermal magnesium. No one reads them, right? They're somewhat technical. They're not they're not going to be on anyone's book club anytime soon.
That's funny. And Natalie, with that, I'm sure a lot of women, nowadays, people just jump to C-sections and of course, stretch marks. I'm curious to
You're asking her next question.
Oh, But go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead and answer. Yes. Like, tell me about that. Yes.
Yeah,
This is where Natalie jumps in and starts really running the business.
this is the thing. I get passionate about it because it helps so many people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. Thank goodness, because I could use for sleep, right? But
Yeah.
but this is, the feedback we get is amazing. So I'll tell you a story. There was she actually ran a Pilates studio near me, and when she got pregnant, I gave her some magnesium, and she absolutely loved it. She used it everywhere. 0 stretch marks, except where she forgot to use it in this area. I just think that's just one example of.
And she could tell a difference. Like that's
Yeah.
but this is a very fit woman who religiously applied it. And
She just forgot. Anyway, she didn't think about
you
it.
don't know until you think your belly is.
Yeah.
You don't think, there are other things getting.
Right. You don't think about those other parts of the skin.
Well,
She was not happy.
you tell that story to make that point. Like, don't forget.
Put everywhere.
Bird.
Yeah. But so recently we actually worked with, but people, it makes their skin feel so good, like moisturized and everything like that. So it really is fantastic to use. Like I said, I use the Miracle Balm head to toe, but a lot of times I'll use the magnesium on my.
What everything you want for, yeah.
But recently we launched, this is pretty cool. So I know Doug was holding this up, but this is a new gua sha that we have.
Star.
And we put together a tightening and recovery toolkit. So it actually has it comes with the mag balm. Okay, so it does a couple things. It'll help with tightening. So you do some scraping, but it also like lymphatic drainage.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, so you scrape toward the heart.
And this is the feedback we get from customers is that this little cone with serrated edge. It's not really sharp. It's not sharp, but that's those things that it's not. What you ever after you get resting and post therapy. So yeah, so it's but this is. I mean, it even feels better just sitting at hanging.
Yeah. So I looked for a really long time to find somebody who can make these custom for us, because this is the one that's going to help most of the collagen. Basically, getting some collagen production. And I mean, from break up fascia with it, there's just so many things. But the people who are really loving using the magnesium with this for skin tightening and lymphatic drainage. So I'm obsessed with it now when I get out of the shower. So I'm doing this. So I'm doing dry brushing before I get in the shower. The tightening and recovery kit comes with a dry brush, and then put the magnesium on and then use this.
It does not grow hair.
That is a good question. I'm trying to think how many men or even women, right, that would want to have that hair growth back. That's amazing. Yes, the skin tightening, as we all age, you want to have natural ways to get that collagen boosted. And then you got these miracle creams and balms. Y'all are onto something great here.
It's so much, it's so much fun, and we love with your feedback and input. That's what really gets us going. So, this has been kind of a new fun kit that people are loving. So,
and even that, the I don't love it type of feedback, we grow. You want people to tell us how did our product work for you, and we've actually gotten some really good feedback. And we thought, that didn't occur to everyone may love it, but what about the one person that doesn't? We may not change our product, but that's something we need to either develop a new product line for or something else. So it never gets my feelings.
Well, we honestly don't get a lot of that. When it does come in, we welcome it because we want to know. And a lot of times, well, the few times that we have had it, the majority they just want using it correctly. That's a whole other topic,
That's
right?
A big thing.
Yeah.
Natural ingredients work differently, right? You don't have to use a boatload like we do with some of the things out of the farm.
You mean caking it on?
No,
little goes a long way. So people it's kind of sticky and waxy, and it's like, well, you use about enough for your thumbnail to use on cheeks opposed to the fucking. And so that is, and yet we have another one that just says, oh no, I put on put it on his biscuit, and then she puts her socks on, and she does. Who am I to tell her she's wrong?
Yeah. Well, this is so great for y'all. What's next? What's next for y'all?
We're scaling up our production. We're still in practice, but we're probably going to have to take techniques pulled out of our lab because we're going to a little bit more industrial in our production. It's going to be the exact same product and, still made with love, but you have to scale out. I don't think that'll affect, I think that'll affect our needs and improve our needs and will not affect our body. It is really providing for this investment. I would like to give that a job at some, not just compounding, but we have to do a better job than we are to start continuing for new products that people don't necessarily want.
And something else that's very exciting that we're working on right now is Doug is working on starting his own first of its kind in the U.S. Concierge neurology practice. So,
Woo! And I love that. When we were chatting about this, how cool is it if we both team up, right? That is like true concierge personalized medicine as it should be.
Most of my private practice is going to be conversations. Right? Instead of fill out your paperwork, you try something, the phone 80% of each other. You really not achieve much. I'm really going to go right down and spend more time with the individuals, just reviewing the records before I even meet them. But I really missed that. Back in residency, you were so terrified of making mistakes. You loved everything about everything. You do that, you can't do that well. And now with 20 plus years of experience,
I can format a plan. I will know what's worked and what has not worked. And that'll give me, I think, a little bit of advantage. And I don't have to see another 30 patients in one day.
That is truly something to look forward to because, as you said, when you're stuck seeing patient after patient, you're just trying to check off the big bucket list. It doesn't serve the patient, but the art of truly listening, because you have the skills, you have the knowledge set, but to listen, that is therapeutic in itself. And you can really figure out what they're needing and make it more of a team approach where you're the expert, yes, but then you're truly tuning in to the human being that's in front of you. And it's quite beautiful. Yeah.
we've been doing it on a test basis. We capped it at 10. And the feedback has been universally positive. They like be able to text me, come call back and think about it. It's the like, hey, I talked to my family doctor, and my family doctor stuff just doing their exam. In a lot of ways, I'm a voice activated MRI. Back in the old days, I was a voice activated MRI because I didn't have to spend as much time. Now I do it because they have a concern. What am I going to do with that information instead of solving something that doesn't exist? You see things in MRIs with that response. It doesn't provide a solution.
So that's kind of where we are. It's fun.
That's amazing. Well, how can our audience find you, both for your concierge neurology practice as well as of course, your website for the bombs as well? But how else can people find you?
Well, I actually looked this up on an AI search and I put in Dr. Doug's bombs. Basically spit everything out. You can get this Dr. Doug's bombs if you look it up in the AI searching.
And I'm just Doug Strobel, MD, or Healthy Brain Doc. So we're staying with the healthy nutrition diet. Best way to solve a problem is at the front door, or better yet, not have it.
Amazing. Amazing. And I will add all that information to the show notes. Any last thoughts that you want to leave our listeners with? She's like, I don't know, I'm thinking about it.
I don't know what that is.
When do you know a dad joke has become a dad joke?
She's like, I know this one.
When it becomes a parent. See, everyone loves that dad joke.
She's like, I've heard it so many times.
Not cringy at all, is it like that?
Oh my gosh. Well, so I'll jump in real quick and just say, whoever's listening, Dr. Remina, you do amazing. You do so many amazing things.
Good things.
And
Oh.
I love watching you. I love seeing all the things that you're doing and growing. And I mean, you can tell. I think we're aligned in that way, that we want to be able to find the underlying problem rather than just mask the symptom. And really, I do believe that is coming back in medicine. It's the future. It was the past. But if we can keep things simple and prevent, work more on prevention and treating in a more simple, natural way, then let's do it. And I think we're all aligned on that. But I thank you for all that you're doing against that.
Oh, that is so well. That is so well said, and thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time and being on and saying those wonderful words. And it's truly helping patients and get to the root cause. Well, have an amazing day, and we'll chat soon. If you enjoyed today's show, share with your friends and family, and of course, subscribe. Thank you so much for your support.